Hey guys, how's it going? Just want to make a quick video on the Red Hat Certified System Administrator exam. I'm taking it next week, and I just wanted to share a resource that I had some trouble using, but it was a great resource for me, a great addition to all the things I've been using, Linux Academy and the Jang book mainly. This is like an extra practice test that someone posted on this thread here on Reddit. You know, so you think you're ready for the Red Hat sysadmin exam. It takes you to this link, and this guy Murphy, shout out to Murph. He, you know, created a custom VM, CentOS VM, to test your skills, I guess. And I had an issue with the beginning part where the machine just doesn't boot. It's broken. It doesn't boot. And I sent him an email, and he didn't reply, which is it's fine. But if anyone had an issue with that part, just wanted to have a video that they could if they need the help, they can just check this video out. All I had to do, it took me a while to figure this out. I shouldn't have, because I skipped the grub bootloaders and grub 2 chapter in the Jang book, which is chapter 5. There's a exercise there specifically where it takes you through how to fix this issue the right way. I didn't take that route. I found like a quicker path. If anyone out there has the Jang book, exercise 5.3 in chapter 5 will tell you how to do that. Basically, you just have to kind of recreate that grub configuration file again from the grub menu, because there's an issue with the init rd or the init ramfs file name. It's incorrect, so that's why the machine doesn't boot. So let's just get into it. I was doing this earlier. Let me delete this. Open it again. So loading up the VM here. And shout out to Murphy. It's a great addition. I'm using Linux Academy. Their practice test at the end of the course is really good. This guy Murph's VM was really great. The Jang book comes with 2 practice tests. I've been doing those as well. So just wanted to make this really quick, just to walk someone through. Because I'm pretty new to Linux, and I wasn't too sure how to go about this. So here we go. So this is the issue right here. This should be x86_64, not just bad image. And the way, I guess the proper way to fix that is to hit Control C, go into the grub menu, and do the ins mod lvm, do an ls, and look through all those partitions to see what the init ramfs file should be. Usually you would do an ls on hd0 msdos1 and then / init ramfs, and then it'll tell you the proper name or the version or whatever that's incorrect. You can also in that menu can also change the kernel and where it's the root and all that good stuff. So the way also you need a you don't have the root password, so you need to do an rd.break and then change this. Since I already know it's x86_64, go ahead and do that. Hit Control X. It's gonna boot you into that file system. I'm not sure which file system it is. I think it might be the init ramfs. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm new to this stuff. So you do an mount -o remount, comma read write sys root. Change root into sys root. And now you can see all your stuff. Let's see, cat tasks. That's all the tasks we're going to be doing. So now you can change the root password here. And then you can, you need to touch / auto relabel to relabel, I guess, the file system for SE Linux. Then you exit, and it's going to go ahead and reboot, and you're going to go back to that same grub menu where you can pick the kernel, but it's still not going to be changed. So this method I'm doing, you got to change it again, then you'll be able to reboot. I tried the Jang method where you do everything the right way, but I wasn't able to get into this the rd.break because I would add the RD.break to that Linux line, then change, go into the grub menu, and then change everything, and wasn't able to get back there to change the root password. So there's guaranteed a way to do it. I just don't know how to do it. It's just the way I learned how to do it. So maybe when I get better, I'll learn the proper way. But so now it's going to boot properly now. There you go. Root, new password, boom, it works. The issue is, boot that whoops, wrong file name. Bruh. So grub CFG. The issue is that it's still showing the initRD as that bad. So every time you boot, it's gonna have to do that. That's not good. So we're gonna have to use, what did I write? Anyways, we're gonna change that anyway. So grub 2-mk config -output boot grub 2 grub.cfg. So we're going to rebuild this file here, and you can see, make this full screen actually. You can see there that it has the right initRD image. So now when you boot up, it's not going to give you any issues. And here's the task that we need to do. It's not too difficult. The firewall rule kind of caught me off guard because I didn't know how to make rich rules, so I didn't know how to drop stuff. So we go to let's see if networking is working. Nope. So let's do a cat. Let's see. Sysconfig network ifcfg dash that horrible name. Here we go. So you can see it's not enabled to start on boot, so we're gonna do that. And CLI, 2 C's here. Con mod, that's the connection. Auto connect. Yes. If you cat it again, it's gonna show it's gonna be starting on boot. I'm pretty sure that's all we need to do. Besides start the connection. Con up. We get an IP address now. Boom, we got an IP address. Great. So he also broke yum, or just packages. So I'll try to install bash completion. This doesn't work. Again, the way I learned how to fix it probably isn't the right way, but so we do an ls on etsy yum.reposd, and there's a lot. So we can do a cat on CentOS base, and the base URL is hashtagged, commented out, and it's not enabled. So the way I went about this was just go ahead and I'm going to VI on that, on commenting base URL and enabling this and turning DPG check off, just because sometimes it gives me issues, and I'm pretty sure that's the right he probably gave us the right key. So now if we do yum install bash compilation, it should work. You can see it just downloaded. Great. So Now we can cat tasks and we can get started with our tasks. I like doing it. The best way to do it in the test, from what Linux Academy has told me, is do everything that can break the computer first. So like partitions, grub configurations first, and then do all the things that you don't really need to reboot to check as many times. So I'll start with the setting SE Linux to permissive. So you can do a set enforce 0, but it's not gonna persist through reboot, and everything needs to persist through reboot. So it's etc SE Linux config. So you can vi that. And just change this to permissive. Boom. So that's done. Firewall to rule drop all traffic from 10.10.10. That's subnet, I guess. So system ctl status. And it's enabled. You can do a check. You can check that by doing is-enabled. Yep, it's enabled. So firewall -cmd --add rich -rule equals once quote IPv rule family PV4. Let me think. So it's rule family IPv4 source address equals 10.10.10.0/24. Then drop. Pretty sure that's it. Permanent zone equals public, because that's the default zone. So I just want to. Okay, that worked. Thank God. CMD reload. Firewall CMD get defaults. Get default public. So do a list -all zone equals public. Now you have a rich rule that drops traffic from that subnet, which is what they want. So that's done. Set the host name. So systemctl. Nope. Host name ctl set host name, and it says centos.local. So we'll reboot. That should change. Find all set UID files on the system and save the list of test results. So under test results, and so find root -perm -4000. I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. And then output that to test results. Set UID dot list. I had to Google this because nowhere did I have to ever think I had to do this. So I had to Google it, and the permissions on all those when you have a set UID permissions, I guess the file permissions are set to that 4000, or if you at least that's what Google told me. So that's what I went with. And let me cat tasks again. It says files. So you could do perm, and you could do type F to make sure it's only files, and then so it's cat test results SUID list, and there it is. So anyways, next thing, lock Bob's account. I have Bob yet. Configure the system to be an NFS client. As far as I know how to do this, it's systemctl -y install yum -y install nfs-utils. That's as far as I know. And then you would just mount it. You would just have to mount the NFS directory that someone else's, the NFS server, is providing. There's no real guide on this VM, so this is just me, just Googling things that I didn't know already. I set that up for NFS client, NFS server in a directory a while ago, but they don't ask you for that until you get to the Red Hat certified engineer. But as far as I know, this is how you're supposed to do it. So we'll just wait for this to finish downloading. And it's done. So that is all you need to do as far as I know. If anyone has any, if that's wrong, just let me know, and I'll change that. Install GNOME, that takes forever, so I'm going to do that last. Set system time zone, so time date CTL, right? Yep, time date CTL. Just do -- help. Send it to UCC. Time date CTL. Set time zone UTC. What else did it say? And use NTP to maintain system accuracy. So set NTP true. I think that's it. NTP not supported. System CTL status NTP. So we need to set that up. What about cronid? Status doesn't exist. So in Linux Academy, they kind of teach you to use cronid, so I'm just going to do it that way. Whoops. So that's installed. Yep. Enable that, start that. And see the status. Yep, it's up. So should work now. It's NTP enabled, yes. So let's just make sure set NTP true. So, and it says it's synchronized, which is great. So, okay. Tasks. So now we just have to create the users, and everything else is related to users, it looks like, besides the GNOME thing. So there's a for sure faster way to do this, but I'm just doing it the way Linux Academy taught me. It's nice and easy. New group, so market. Add Alice, Bob, and Charles to the group. So that directory though. So user mod -ag marketing, and then Alice, Bob, Charles, and then you can check by doing a groups Bob, right? Yep. So you see his main group is still his name group or whatever that's called, and then he has a supplementary group of marketing. And if you wanted to make that the main group, I think you would just put just an A, no lowercase g, I think. If you do the dash dash help, it'll tell you exactly what you need to do to make that the main group and not a supplementary group. So we got a Chone. Who's the owner? Alice is the owner. The group owner is marketing. Marketing, all right. Set appropriate permissions so that the marketing group can share documents in the new directory. So let me do an ls. Let's see the permissions already. So read, write, execute, then just read, execute. Okay. So all right, so chmod, yep, 770 says no one else can see the documents, and then do that for marketing. And then set the chmod, set the group bit or whatever, the group bit, sticky bit, that's what it's called, sticky bit. Set permissions don't change. And then give Charles read-only permission, and I guess we could do that by setting the ACL. Alright, so set FACL dash modify user Charles read and execute, I guess, just to get into the directory. Capital X is just to get into the directory. Lowercase would be to actually execute stuff, if I'm not mistaken. And then marketing, and let me just do that recursively, just to make sure. And then get FACL. So Charles has read and execute. Everyone has read write. Let me do a sudo Charles. And then cd into marketing, and then touch test, can't touch test, nice, exit. So let me do that with Alice, cd marketing, touch empty, ls-al, and empty has read write permissions, and yeah, nice. So, and it's created with the marketing group there, not her user group, I guess that's what it's called. So that's done. Configure password aging for Charles so his password expires in 60 days. So change -L Charles, right? And you want to do a dash. What kind of caught me off guard with this is it has to be basically that's E is for account expiring. For password expiring, I think it's an S. I'm not too sure. Let me check. It's max. It's a capital M. Max days before you gotta change the password. So change -M, and it should be, well, this is just 60. You just enter a 60 there, and then Charles. And then if you do a change -L Charles, his password expires in 60 days, just 3 months. So if you were to do, I know a lot of people, or the Linux Academy asks for account expiring. You do that with a capital E. So it'd be capital E if you want his account to expire in 60 days. You would have to put in the date like this, April, whatever the date is, and then the year, and then you close the quotes like that. That was what caught me off guard. I had to look it up on Google, and that's the right syntax on how you're supposed to do it. So like the tasks again. Lock Bob's account. User mod --help. So it should be a capital L. Yep. So lock Bob. then you can cat tasks again to see what else we gotta do. All we have left is one-off job and a periodic job, number 9 and number 10, and install GNOME. Alright, so let's do the one-off job first. Let's see at. We do not have that, so yum-y install at. Okay, at. I think add is a service as well, which I had no idea until one day I just decided to check for some reason. Status at D. So apparently that's the job. So if you don't have this enabled, it won't run, which I did not know. Or maybe it will run. I'm not sure, but I just assume it won't run. So let me just enable that and start it. Because in the exam, everything needs to persist after reboot, and yeah. Trying to get into that habit before I take this test. So let me look at the task again. It's at. The syntax with at really, caused me a lot of issues. I had to look at the man pages and things like that. Let me see. Let's do that actually. Man at. Yeah, you have to get the date in that specific format. It looks like with the blue. And they give like a little example there, which kind of helped me. The only thing is you have to do, see where it says, for example, right there in the, I guess, second paragraph, it says, for example, to run a job at 4 p.m. 3 days from now, you would do it at 4 p.m. plus 3 days. So the way you do it, if you're gonna do it like that, it's at now, because if you take a look at the tasks, you do at. It says one-off job creates a file called test results containing this is the text in 2 days. So in 2 days, I kept putting at 2 days, but really you have to put the time as well. So at now plus 2 days, then it gives you that, the little where you put in the job, and echo. Oops. Hello world. This is Charles. And send that to test results /Bob. And then you hit enter, and then you hit Control D so it knows. And if you want to check the queue, ATQ, and it says one job as root. Let me take a look at the task. I think I had to do that as Charles. So su-Charles. Let me just do that really fast. So at now plus 2 days, right? Yep. So echo hello. This is Charles. That doesn't really matter. Whatever. Test results /Bob. And then Control D, done. So at Q, and then yeah. So let me exit. Cat tasks, that's done. So cron job as Alice. Remove the ability of Bob to create cron jobs. So let me do that first. So bi etc cron dot deny. That's right there. Boom. Cron dot deny. You insert Bob. Write that, and then you can test it by logging in as Bob and trying cron tab -E, and it says you're not allowed. So that's how we know it's working. So let's see. As Alice created a periodic job that appends a current date to the file, which I guess would be date. Every 5 minutes, Sunday and Wednesday between hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Remove the ability of Bob. Okay. So su-Alice. Cat tasks, that's her. Cron tab. I could have just made it as root with -U and then you put in Alice's name, but whatever. So every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes. Whoops. So /5. Is that the right one, or is it /5? I think it's that way. Every 5 minutes between 3 and 4 a.m. And then it says wed son, and then what was that? No. Sunday and Wednesday, 3 and 4 a.m. Until you append the date to a file called notice. So, insert. I think that's how you do it. I hope 3 to 4 every day. Not really, but then when son date and the date to test results /Alice. So that should work. Wednesday and Thursday you could do it that way, or I think you could do it with a 6 and then a comma and 3. So let me just write that. So it says it worked. Exit. Well, I don't have to exit. Cron tab -L -user Alice. Boom. So that's pretty much it. Cat tasks. I think that's right. If anyone, if it's not right, just let me know, because I'm still learning. You know, this is just me trying to help anyone else out, and I find that once I start explaining things, I understand things way more. So it's just from my own studies as well. And to install GNOME, yum-y group. Oh, let's try group install. See if we can get that group install. No, it doesn't show up. /y install. I think it's GNOME desktop. Is that right? Okay, whoops. Try GNOME. Or it might be group install. Yep, it's a group install. You could do with a group install, or you could do, I guess, a yum search GNOME and then look through it that way. This takes an insane amount of time, so I'm just gonna end it here. If you guys have any feedback, just leave a comment on the video, or in the thread, or wherever I post this, and just let me know, because I'm trying to get better myself. So thanks.